share with you one of my favorite books. This may be one of my 3 favorite books. Anyway, this is by Harry G. Frankfurt, and it's published by Princeton University Press, 2000 something. And the title of this book is On Bullshit. It begins, one of the most salient features of our culture is that there is so much bullshit. Everyone knows this. Each of us contributes his share, but we tend to take the situation for granted. Most people are rather confident of their ability to recognize bullshit and to avoid being taken in by it. So the phenomenon has not aroused much deliberate concern, nor attracted much sustained inquiry. And he goes on from there. I strongly recommend this book because this is a no bullshit zone. Probably, if you're over the age of 10, you're familiar with bullshit. You've probably spun some bullshit. You know, bullshit is, you didn't eat that cookie, the dog ate it. Or you told your parents when you were at the library and actually out, smoking dope. Or that time you convinced your professor that you had some terrible tragedy at home and so you didn't get the assignment done. Could you have a 2-day extension? Get it to him on Monday. Just give me the weekend to do it. I've got all the research done. I just need to write it up. That was bullshit, wasn't it? You know it, I know it, and probably the professor knew it too. Bullshit is the glue that holds the fabric of our society together. Bullshit is a little bit different from malicious lies. We'll talk about that another time if you want. But bullshit is the everyday exaggeration, embroidering, bullshitting, little petty fucking lies. Puffery, they call it in advertising. I think it's very important that you find something, some part of your life that is a no bullshit zone. Combat is a no bullshit zone. Look, either you can parry or you can't parry. You can't bullshit your way out of that. If you try and stop me with bullshit, I'm just going to fucking hit you. Either you can parry or not. Either you can punch or not. Either you can take a punch or not. There's no bullshit. There's no room for it. There's no tolerance for it. There aren't a lot of things that are no bullshit zones. Music can be, Man, I knew a cat who walked in with a, $8,000 Gibson guitar. Hollow body. It was beautiful. Oh, man. You know what? He couldn't play 3 notes without getting a hernia. See? That's one of those things. Either you can play or you can't, man. You can't bullshit your way through. Not with other musicians. You can bullshit the audience. I bullshit the audience. I'm a mediocre singer. I'm okay on some things. I make out okay with certain styles, certain ranges, yada yada. But when I perform before an audience, I can convince you that I'm a whole lot better singer than I really am. Because I can bullshit you. And I know what kind of bullshit you like, so I'm all ready. Combat is a bullshit-free zone. There is no bullshit. Play with horses. That's a bullshit-free zone. Bullshit-free zone. Because the horse has your number when you get within 50 feet. He's reading you better than a book, man. He's reading your temperament, your attitude, your emotional state, everything. I knew this girl at the barn who, me and my pony sat up on the hill eating grass. Well, he was eating it, I was smoking it. And watch this girl spend 40 minutes trying to catch her pony, running around the paddock. And he was playing tag. He'd stand there and she'd come up and just get close, and he'd take off. you know. And then he'd stop another, and she'd sneak up, you know, and then just close, and then he'd take off. And he ran her ass around the paddock for half an hour anyway, right? And so she asked me, and you know, later on I was leaving, and she was leaving the barn, and I put my pony up on the hill, gave him some hay, and she said, "How do you catch your horse? What do you do?" And I said, "Come here, I'll show you." So we walked out. I walked to where I stood by the gate, and he was up on the hill. As soon as I stood by the gate, he saw me. He came down and said, "Hey, Adam, what's up? Got any apples?" And of course, the answer was yes, right? But the thing is that every time she went to see her horse, she was asking something. "Oh, we're going to work now." And the horse figured that out, you know, about the third time. He said, "Oh, when this broad shows up, I'm going to have to do shit I don't really care about doing." Right? What she failed to do was to make herself the very symbol of a good time for her horse. She didn't make her horse want to be with her. Right? That horse should have looked at her and said, "Ooh, little Miss Apple is here. Okay, good deal." Right? No, it's, "Oh, geez, we're going to run around fucking circles now." Anyway.
What are some other examples of bullshit-free zones that you've
Bullshit-free zones. Bullshit-free zones. Sailing is a bullshit-free zone. Yeah, try and go over on the wind and the waves. Try and con your way through that and see what happens. I've never done it, but I know somebody who's a rock climber.
Very little room.
And that is a bullshit-free zone. You better know your stuff when you're climbing up the sheer face of a mountain with, you know, hanging on by your fingernails. You better know your strokes, you know. So I'm sure I'm missing a couple of things.
Oh, I know one of your favorite ones. I'm surprised you didn't mention that.
Oh, what's that?
Strength training.
Oh, strength training. Yeah, strength training is a no bullshit zone. I don't mean going to the gym and watching all these, you know, steroid sissies huffing and puffing around. I mean you in the gym. You know, it's 100 pounds on the bar. You lift it, or you don't lift it. You don't kind of lift it, or you didn't sort of lift it, or you know. And here's the beauty of it, and this is why this is important. If you lift that 100 pounds, you did it. And there's no way you can bullshit your way out of it. You did it. It's hard data, man. It is bullshit proof. And if you didn't lift it, can't bullshit that bar up into the air. That's bullshit proof too. So you got to have something where you got to have a reality check in your life somewhere, where there's a deal you have to do, and you have to do the deal, or the deal don't get done. You know.
I think this also touches on something that you said in another one of these about being able to accurately assess yourself. It's good to participate in no bullshit things because they give you a way to very objectively evaluate your performance.
Yeah. Of all the kinds of bullshit we spin and all the people we bullshit in the world, the person that we bullshit the most is ourselves. You know? Your biggest challenge is to extricate yourself from your own bullshit. You know? You got to identify. You know, you really have to do that. You have to know how much of what you're doing is real and how much is bullshit. You know? Because if you don't know that, you might, you know, your bullshit might be a bridge too far. You know? So, we talked about the scene in Indiana Jones, the guy with the scimitar who gets his head blown off. All right? See? He failed to identify the limits of his bullshit and got himself shot. You know? Here's something I discovered about Ithaca when I first came here that really, really threw me. People in Ithaca are unconsciously and casually rude. They're just fucking rude. You know why? Because they can get away with it. See, where I grew up, you give somebody shit, he's liable to pull out a gun and blow your fucking head off. You know? So where I grew up, you give everybody respect. Everybody. You respect everybody because you never know how crazy he is or what he's carrying. Right? But in Ithaca, which is a lot like Oz, you know, where it's always 1970, right? They have no idea. They have no idea. You know, somebody's rude to me, and I'm thinking, don't you know that there are people in this world who would cut your throat if you said that to them without giving it a second thought? They would just put your lights out? Are you kidding me? You say that to a stranger? Are you nuts? Well, they're not nuts exactly, but they're real insulated from reality.
I didn't realize that about Ithaca when I was growing up here, because that's the way things were. But when I went off to college, it was a real culture shock to be someplace else, and I think people underestimate that.
Yeah.
A lot. It's a strange place. Strange place that we're in. A lot of good things about it. There's some strange things too. Let's see. 10 square miles surrounded by reality.
Yeah. So anyway, it's that thing where there are. We talked about the 4 threat responses and posturing, and posturing is largely the tactical dissemination of bullshit, right? But there are people who don't do that. There are people who do not posture, right? They go from 0 to 60 in 0.6 seconds. They go from 0 to fight. They do nothing. They don't run, they don't comply, they don't posture until it's time to fight. And then they nail you. You know? And if you're used to bullshit, then you expect, so you lay out your bullshit, you expect the other person to lay out his bullshit. You know, I'll show you mine, you show me yours. Right? And you show him yours, and then boom, he nails you. See? Surprise. You just entered the no bullshit zone. Sorry, Rod.
He's listening. I can tell.